Okay, so we will begin by typing into Google NCTM Illuminations. Okay, and if you click on the first option, you will be brought to the main page, which includes featured activities as well as featured lesson plans and links to other resources provided by Illuminations. Their two main resources for teachers are lessons and interactives. There are 700 lessons included and 100 interactives, which include games and brain teasers as well. Up in the top corner, there is a Join NCTM tab, which is important for this technology tool because the majority of the resources require an NCTM membership. Under this, you will find two types of memberships, Essential and Premium, which you can look into further.
If we start to look into the lessons and interactives, you can go over to these tabs. Under the lessons, you see that you can choose all lessons, which will bring you to a list of all the lesson plans that they provide, as well as choosing options based on grade level. They also offer brain teasers and a link to success stories where users have described what they have found successful using NCTM Illuminations. If you go over to interactives, you see links to a list of all their interactives, as well as their mobile apps, Calculation Nation, e-examples, and a web sketchpad.
If you go to lessons, now we're going to look for a lesson specifically dealing with the Pythagorean theorem. So if we type in Pythagorean theorem into the search site and make sure that lessons box is chosen, we're going to go ahead and click on the first one saying Exploring Diagonals in the Pythagorean Theorem. So directly under the title, you can see that it's just got a little description about the lesson that we have chosen, and then we have materials. So listed under here are all of the materials you'll need for if you want to use this lesson. And then you get to the instructional plan. And so here, the teacher who created this has everything you need laid out word for word. It's got the activity sheets already embedded into the lesson, so all you have to do is pull them up, and if you want, print them out. Underneath that section, there is an Assessments and Extensions tab. So these are just options for the teacher to use to test your students or to further the lesson. And again, at the end of the lesson, we have questions that you can ask the students and reflections for the teacher as well. Next is the objectives and standards that this lesson plan specifically hits and targets. So you can match these up to whatever you're trying to accomplish in the class. And then last are related resources to the lesson that we have chosen.
Next, we are going to be looking at the interactives. And so we are going to be making sure that we hit the interactives button this time. And we'll be selecting the first one to explore. And these interactives are neat because they allow for the students to be able to manipulate to explore. So in this case, you get to stretch out the sides of a triangle and see what happens to the squares around them. And it's cool because attached are more information like the areas of these squares and the side lengths. And if you want them to show up, you can select them to, or you can even hide them. These are great resources because they allow just for that manipulation and exploration. And below are the instructions of how to use them. And here are some more of the questions that you are trying to have your students explore. And included are the objectives and standards that this particular interactive is also trying to address.
So we hope that you have fun exploring NCTM Illuminations and all the resources that they provide.